So on a much more somber note, one of the last things that we want to bring up is the George Floyd trial. So Derek Chauvin was convicted on guilty on all counts that he faced over the death of George Floyd last summer. The NBA has been extremely vocal as far as its players speaking out on this issue, most notably in the bubble, where there's almost a strike in the middle of the playoffs. So what's your take on how the NBA has handled all this, how the NBA players are reacting to the news?
I love that the NBA encouraged them to be proactive like this. They didn't, oh my, we might anger some of the fan base and try to funnel it either outside the court. I mean, they put Black Lives Matter on the court in the bubble, and they've encouraged this. So I think that they've handled it well, because at least to me, that brings a level of authenticity. Like, I want the players to be real. I want to know them as people, not just, fantasy cogs in my fantasy basketball team, right? Like, I want to see who they are and what they care about. And this goes a long way. I think LeBron helps lead this. There's, Chris Paul, other guys, but I think the league has handled. I love that they've kind of put this front and center. What about you?
Yeah, 100%. I think from my perspective, you have guys who are being vocal, and then they're also taking action. Jaylen Brown drove how many hours? 10 plus hours to go to a rally in Atlanta. You have obviously LeBron James with the I Promise School, who's been working on the ground and saying, look, like, we're trying to create opportunities for minorities, and we're trying to do things with voting rights. And so I love that concept of, look, we've been vocal, but we're putting our weight behind this in actual action. I think when you think about the roles, how do you address systemic issues? I think first you have to acknowledge it, right? First, you kind of have to look at it and say, this is a problem, right? Then you have to address it and hold people accountable, which happened, right? And say, you can't do this. And then the next step is to prevent this from happening in the future with policy, right? So you see that with the NBA, they basically said, look, we're going to put together these PSA ads during the most, vital part of our season, the playoffs. So everyone knows that we're supporting our players as they try to get the word out and try to get people to the polls and try to get people registered to vote, so they can start changing things on a local, state, national level. And then now the next step is in the lawmakers' hands, right? So I think that's kind of the process I see of activism, and it's very encouraging for me to see the league support its players as they try to fight for what's important to them. Like you said, it makes it authentic, and most importantly, that they have a platform, they have a voice, and this is something that they believe in.
And that voice, because of that platform they have on social media and just being an NBA player, is a little louder and can carry some weight and be the voice of other people who aren't as easily heard. And it felt they have not been heard for a very long time. So yeah, I love and encourage this, and hopefully, hopefully, like you said, this is just the first of multiple steps to hope address a lot of systemic issues in our culture.
There's a brighter day coming, Kurt, right?
So